Let's speak to John, an Everton fan. Hello, John.
Evening, gents.
How are you?
Being happier.
Well, go on. Tell us what's going on in your head, John, as an Everton fan.
So the season after next, we move into our new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying that we're in danger of having the best stadium in the Championship. I think we might have the best stadium in the First Division, because in 40 years of watching Everton, this is the worst team I have ever seen. It's like we haven't spent a penny in the last 10 years. We've spent over £500 million on assembling a team which have got absolutely no resale value at all. There is more, and people are pointing fingers. Lampard needs to go. He's out of his depth. You can see he's not motivating the players. He's got no plan B. His signings are shocking. We've seen that we've needed a striker for the last 3 years. People are pinning their hopes on Calvert-Lewin. The minute silence last week, he observed it for Vivian Westwood because he doesn't know who Pele is. He's more interested in the fashion parade. Anyway, getting serious again. People are looking for someone to blame. The person to blame is Moshiri. Moshiri, the madman. He's the one who's picked every manager for the last 5 years, who's picked every director of football, and is the reason why we're in this position.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I'm not an Everton supporter myself, but I can feel your pain. You're saying it's the worst team in how many years, but you're still sat in 16th place. But you're thinking back-to-back relegations.
We haven't got the players for the First Division. We haven't. There is no fight in them. You tell me a player there who has got any resale value. The goalkeeper, who they're now stalling the contract, they get 15 million for him, maybe. Look at the rest of the squad. We have spent £500 million on assembling that team.
So how do you go about? Obviously, you don't want Moshiri there anymore. I think it's been clear for a little while that he's basically the issue. But how do you go about that as supporters to try and change the whole situation?
Moshiri and Kenwright are the issue. They haven't got a clue about football. They've employed Steve Walsh. They've then employed Marcel Brands. He's had a good dig at them. They've employed manager after manager after manager after manager. They've sanctioned Moshiri's been buying players. Kenwright's been buying players. Steve Walsh, they're all buying players and trying to make them fit. There's absolutely no plan from above. There's no direction. They haven't got a clue. Moshiri is a madman. He hasn't been to an Everton game since October 2021.
John, thank you for your call. Let's go to Thomas, also an Everton fan. Hello, Thomas.
How you doing? You all right?
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, we're good, Tom. Off you go, pal.
Where to start, really? I think he's got to go. Has to go. But then I don't trust the board to bring in the next manager. Someone was saying about Sean Dyche, but it's not just another short-term option like Allardyce going to keep us up.
What about Rooney's name's been mentioned?
No chance.
Did you say, sorry, you broke up there. Did you say no chance or what chance?
No chance. It's another risk, isn't it?
That's the issue right there, Thomas, and you said it yourself. If Frank Lampard goes, who does come in?
No pulling to bring any big managers. We're a poison chalice.
Thomas is not the greatest line in the world. We'll try and get you back. Let's speak to Paul, an Everton fan. Hello, Paul.
Hello, you okay?
I'm good, Paul. Thank you for asking. How are you today?
No, just hearing what you're saying about... I went to the game last night myself, and I was gone after 60 minutes. I couldn't stomach it. Like a lot of the fans in there, half the ground went. I don't think it's Frank Lampard's problem. I think, as you say, not to get rid of him. And it doesn't matter who comes in that club. If Frank leaves, gets sacked, it doesn't matter who comes in, like a caller said earlier, Pep Guardiola. Them players, that squad is terrible. And you can't even blame Tarkowski or Cody, because, to be honest, if it weren't for them, we won, I think, 3 games. Yeah. If it weren't for them, we'd be bottom of the league. It's the players, it's the standard of play we bring in. Who buys McNeil for £20 million? He's not worth 20 quid. He's a terrible player. Tom Davies and him running the midfield last night. He was just getting.
But let me ask you this, right? When Tom Davies broke through, I remember looking at him thinking, what a player this boy could be.
Yeah.
Is that not down to the coaching, right? And the reason I say this, Paul, is because I don't know if you heard my sort of little chat with Darren earlier on, but the United players now, the way they're playing under Erik Ten Hag compared to how they played under the last two managers is totally different. And that's because the manager is coaching them. He's getting the best out of them.
Well, I can see where you're coming from, yeah, but they've got a better quality of player. They buy a better quality of player. No, I don't think Tom Davies is good, I'll be honest with you.
But when he broke into the team, you did, didn't you?
You give the youngsters a chance. We all want to see the youngsters come through. But because you get this tag with a few Everton players, we love Everton Football Club and this, that and the other, and they get big contracts. Tom Davies hasn't done a thing against any team, hasn't soldiered the midfield, hasn't run a midfield since. He's been missing since the City goal.
No, I know, but...
So was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. 6 seasons at Everton. He had one half a good season when there was no one in the ground.
But you don't think a better manager will get more out of him?
No, I think we're done. Okay. And it kills me to say it, but I really think that's it. Frank Lampard, I think he's suffering himself, and he's got to motivate the players. But you've got to think about it. The players can down tools. You know what they're like, players these days. They'll down tools to get rid of them. They've down tools before they get rid of other managers. It's a difficult situation, but yeah, I can see like Leicester callers and a lot of Ed Sonnies are phoning in. I do think this is the season. I hope I'm wrong, but I think this is the season.
Paul, thank you for your call. Thanks to all the Everton fans.
Frank Lampard needs to call, if he's going to stay, he needs to call on his phone book. He needs to call on his contacts and see if anyone's around that can come and help the situation. And we had the caller earlier, and looking at the squad, he's right, there's no sell-on for anyone, and it's the first time I've noticed that, and that's not a club that's ambitious enough. Moving into a new stadium, no sell-on at all. All players that are ageing, that have failed in other places and come here, he needs to call on his contacts if he's going to stay to have any opportunity.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.